Um, it's weird. It's very weird for me to say as a creator that I think my work is important. Like that feels very inflated head-y. Um, but I do think that Tracy Queen is an important character. Because I have worked in and existed in sort of like the liberal feminist sex positive space as a writer for a long time. Um, and I've very often gotten the feeling that there's a right way to be a sex positive feminist woman. Um, like listicles, about like the 10 things you need to do to be the right kind of person. Um, and I don't
It's
think that
tough.
that's necessarily always bad. Like I definitely think that there's things that people should strive toward, there are things that we can say yes, this is a good way to be generally, but um it also really leads to a lot of shaming within that space where, it's supposed to be a safe space and people are supposed to be themselves. But if yourself doesn't do these certain things or look this certain way, then you don't really fit in and you might be ostracized or you might be called out and shouted down and told that you're wrong. Um, and I'm really uncomfortable with that. Um, I think that everyone has their own idea of what it means to be your best self and to be feminist and to be empowered. And while I don't agree with all of them, certainly, and I do think that there are certain points of view that I think are just wrong, um, doesn't mean that I am right, you know? So I think that Tracy Queen is a complicated story about a complicated person who wants to do the right thing and wants to be, this empowered feminist person, but she's not super politically driven. She's not really trying to be part of any specific scene or be righter than other people. She just wants to do her thing and be kind of left alone about it. And the path that she chooses is really hard to just be left alone about because everyone thinks that they have the right way to
Leadership.
do this or
Yeah.
the right way to do that. And they're all sort of vying for control over her. Um, so I think that the one of the biggest values of Tracy Queen is that she doesn't walk a traditional path. She doesn't do things for the reasons that a lot of people might assume that she does, and she's fine with that. But it's hard. And I think that whereas there are a lot of things that exist in the culture saying like here's how you do this thing, there aren't a whole lot of stories where you can sort of see from beginning to end how this person takes shape as an empowered and independent individual. Um, and I think that it's important to note that it is difficult and that she's always being pulled in multiple directions, um, and that she doesn't always succeed in being the best person she can be. And I think that's, for a story that has cyborg clones and talking raccoons and all of that, I think that that's a realistic way of looking at it. Um, and I think that there's a lot of value for people to follow a character through that process rather than just seeing the finished version or the curated version on Instagram, thinking that this person is perfect and they do feminism right or they do sexual empowerment right.
Hmm.
Because it's tough, and we live in a world where trying to be empowered in any way or to be independent is really really hard. Um, and I don't think that we should always expect ourselves to do it or to for it to be easy for us. Um, so I think that the Tracy's story, as ridiculous and over the top and junk sciency as it is valuable because it shows the ups and downs and ins and outs of someone who's really trying to do the right thing and be their best self.